Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hyperconscious Podcast. Alan, what is hyperconscious?
Once you understand why something is the way that it is, now you have the power to change it. Great conversations with great people and great questions are the keys to the kingdom of unlocking your consciousness.
Every single action that you do starts as a thought. When you control the way you think, you will control the way you act, and you will control the way you live. That is hyperconscious. Geographically. This is cool. So I would say make sure that pretty face is showing.
Yes, true.
They're going to want to see that thing. They're going to want to see that thing, Alan. That face. You good?
Ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of the Hyperconscious Podcast. We're about to hit you with another 20-minute Scratching the Surface episode. What are we going to do it on, Alan?
We're going to scratch that surface. So what we're going to do, Kevin and I have been fortunate enough to be reached out to by many of the listeners, and a lot of times it's saying how much the podcast has changed their lives. That's awesome, but a lot of times we also get people who are going through similar challenges that we have been through, and they turn to us for our opinion on that. So today what we're going to do is share a couple of those privately, anonymously, because we not only have gone through this, but you probably have as well.
So I think that we've been doing a lot of talking and a lot of learning, and I think you and I have both learned that maybe the listeners who are either newer or maybe really trying to focus on how to better themselves, we don't necessarily remember what it was like to take that initial big step of, oh, wow, this is like a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is a lot of truth. This is a lot of knowledge. This is a lot of self-discovery.
A lot of feedback.
So I think that it's important that we take lessons from the listeners, we take questions from the listeners, because if one person is feeling this, what are the chances many others are? And there's a lot of times we're going through the same thing. We're going through very similar things. It's either just we haven't done an episode on it yet, or it just hasn't come up in conversation. So I think that we absolutely love when you guys reach out. It means the world to me. Anytime I'm able to help somebody, it literally, I'm already smiling. So, but do you want to do yours first?
We can do that.
Yeah, we'll do yours
absolutely.
first. Because it'll probably take all day.
Well, yeah, it's actually a fairly long one.
Oh, I
I second.
Go ahead.
Start the timer?
Yeah.
Sounds good. I second what Kevin said. We love when you guys reach out. It's very important to us, and we appreciate it very much. And again, if we're not going through this right now, it's definitely something that we have probably gone through or will go through. So I think there's a lot of patterns when it comes to chasing your dreams, becoming hyperconscious. So if you're out there right now, hopefully this will resonate. Okay, so someone reached out to me, and I will read it. It's fairly long, but it's very important. So here we go. I think I need your help with something. Sad face. It's kind of personal, and even though we've never met, I still trust you, and I just know you can help me to get my mind straight and feel better about this. So my ex-boyfriend and I got in touch again, and I promised to myself that I wouldn't sleep with him because I wanted to take things easy this time. So the first time went all good. We didn't even kiss. The second time, I couldn't help myself and fell for him again. So, of course, what else is new? He didn't text me or reach out to me after this night. So this was Tuesday. And it felt so good to be back with him and have his arms around me, and I just felt like he was feeling the same towards me, but I was wrong. So today I texted him because this Tuesday night, when things were getting a bit intense between us, I said that I didn't want to. I asked him, is sex the only reason why I'm here? And he became kind of angry with me, and he said, how can you think like that? Why would you think that of me? I'm not such a guy. I'm offended that you would think that. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, but I just want to take things slowly this time because I really want to make things work again. And then it still happened, and I didn't stop him. So I slept over at his place. But today I texted him and I said, okay, what the F is wrong with you? 1 second you got angry with me, and then later you don't even text me 2 days after. That fucking hurts. If you just want me for sex, just have the balls to tell me, then don't fucking play with my heart like this. It's just not fair. I was crying and now I'm crying again. I feel horrible and so freaking upset. But he got real honest with me and told me everything that was going on. So he just doesn't feel a click with me, and he wants to make things work with me so badly, but it's just not there. He doesn't love me, and he said that. And he says it has nothing to do with me, but he is just mentally not in a great place. That's true, he's depressed, and he cannot force his feelings. So I asked him many questions, and I wasn't angry. Of course I was upset, but I just wanted to get to the root of this. And I asked about his ex-girlfriends, how his relationship was with them, and if he could easily love them, or if it took some time with them too. And long story short, he loves his ex-girlfriend very much, but he screwed it up with her. And he didn't want to say that exactly how I just did, but I assume he cheated on her. But the thing is, he told me everything about how he loved her and couldn't love me, that it just isn't there, etc. And I'm kind of glad that I know, because now I know what went wrong with us, and now I can leave it behind, you know? But why do I feel shitty then? It freaking sucks to love someone who doesn't feel the same way towards you. I feel stabbed in the heart. Even though he was honest with me, and all I wanted was honesty back. And now I have it. I got the honesty. And I feel worse than ever. And I have to go out and have dinner with my colleagues in 2 hours and really should get it together now. I know this sounds ridiculous, but somehow I feel like no one will ever love me. I know it sounds so stupid, but I just feel like this. I'm trying the best to be the best that I can, be the best me that I can. I feel like there's something wrong with me, or that I'm doing something wrong. It's just when I love hard, and maybe that scares people. I love to open up and talk with someone about how I feel. I'm not afraid of telling someone I love them, but it seems like everyone around me is.
My goodness.
I know.
My goodness.
Yeah. So I can relate.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of listeners can relate. This is a powerful one.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that this person asked great questions is one of the biggest takeaways I had.
Yeah.
Asking, and I've done this, when I start talking to somebody, not even in a romantic or a sexual way, I want to know, if it's a woman, I want to know your association with men. Mm-hmm. What are your past relationships like? What was your relationship with your father like? I want to know those things, because that helps me cater the advice I'm going to give you.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that this person was willing to ask the tough questions, even though there was a chance that there was tough answers given, yep. I think that right there is a giant sign of growth.
For sure.
Absolutely.
This is the first time, by the way, Kevin heard any of that.
Yes.
That was a private conversation between me and this person. And I just want to say that I appreciate the fact that you trust me enough to reach out. And I did respond, and this person said that it helped very much. Should I read that? Yeah. To bring
it doesn't
more
have
context.
to be word for word if you want to
It's probably going to have to be
make
word
it a
for word.
concise.
Yeah, I'll try to. So it's not. Yeah, it's actually pretty long, but
of course it is.
It's important that it's long, because this was I believe last week, and so here we go. This person, I just read all of this now. I'm so sorry, sweetheart, and don't ever think that no one will ever love you. There's zero chance that's true. That's just fear talking. I know what it's like to feel like you're unlovable. My heart was broken so much after my last relationship. I still love her to this moment, even though I know being with her is bad for me. And while she claims to love me, I'm not really sure whether or not she ever did fully, and that's really hard. You are absolutely beautiful inside and out, and from everything I've seen, and I know people, you seem to have a huge heart. You also seem to be a giver, and givers love fiercely, but they also tend to get hurt more because of that. My only advice to you is to use this heartbreak as fuel to make positive changes in yourself and in your life. Take the victory out of the loss, as Kevin would say, by locking in the lesson, and let your light shine even brighter than before. Remember, that light will serve as both a filter and a magnet. And again, that was from Dr. Nikki Starr.
Shout out to Dr. Nikki.
Thank you, Nikki. It will filter out those who don't belong / cannot handle who you're becoming, and a magnet to those who can give at the same level. Just be careful and hyper-conscious of allowing yourself to fall again for someone who's not all in. You'll know the red flags this time, but whatever you do, don't allow the heartbreak to close your heart. It's the hardest thing in the world, but if you allow the hurt to create ice around your love and around your heart, then the circumstance will win. and they said that changed them, helped so very much, and there was a whole bunch of really nice messages after that about how much it helped. And as a matter of fact, I even suggested a Scratching the Surface episode to this person about filling your cup.
Yeah.
Which is the one we did last time, which is number 67.
Yes. That is such a tough thing, because when you love, especially when you love and you're hurt, you assume it's always going to be like that. Just like when things are going really well, you just assume things are always going to be like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's you kind of latch on to the most familiar feeling. If you've been feeling really good lately, you hope that it's going to go that way forever, and it's not. And when you've been feeling really shitty, really down, really hurt, really heartbroken, you fear, you don't assume, but I think you fear that it's always going to be that way.
Yeah.
And it's not. The key is you gotta, I love that you recommended that episode, because instead of thinking about this constantly, which I know is super hard, it's super hard not to, easier said than done, but what are you filling your plate with? What are you filling your cup with? What are you doing that makes you happy? And wow.
Right?
That's a tough one.
I recently was at a close friend of mine's house, and he also me and him have connected very deeply these last few months, because he had his, heart broken, and that's his verbiage. And I was at a get together with a bunch of people, and he was there, and after they all left, he basically broke down and told me, because he knows that my last serious relationship ended and how much that hurt. And how much that still does hurt. But he really wanted to connect with me on this. The one thing that I want to say to everyone out there right now is, if you've had your heart broken in any way, it isn't all bad. The relationship wasn't all bad. It wasn't all your fault. It wasn't all their fault. It was just what happened. So now what are you going to do about that? I think wholeheartedly, this person in particular that I'm talking about who broke down, and he really, really struggles to open up. I mean, like he uses humor as a front. We've all done that. He is very much trying to train his opening up and expressing his truth muscles, right, so to speak. And so he's really, struggling to embrace me and tell me some of these things that he wants to avoid. So if you're in that place, though, I noticed this. When you're in a place of turmoil and pain and heartbreak, that's almost the best time to start making positive changes. Because if you think about it, if you are happy as hell and fulfilled and joyous, you really don't have a lot of incentive to change. So as you would say, you have to take the victory out of the loss. And I just want to let everyone know, like, this person, both of these people are making huge positive changes that they never would have made had they not loved so fiercely and gotten their heart broken. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. I firmly believe that. I remember when I got my heart broken, I was living in New Hampshire. My bills multiplied by 2 because I was living with this person. I wasn't working. I was super depressed. I just finished my bodybuilding show. I was on wit's end. I was ready to end it all. I remember those feelings very familiarly. Oh yeah, you were dropping your chicken, punching the fridge.
Everything was bad at that point. And honestly, that's when I really started focusing on what I was grateful for. That was the cog in the system that created me having gratitude practices. So again, I understand it hurts. I understand that there's trauma, there's pain, and there's heartbreak, but try to take something positive out of it. Try to build a positive habit and try to use this painful part of what's going to be your past as a beautiful part of your future. It's definitely possible, but it's going to take work just like anything else is. But staying miserable also takes work. When your central nervous system, your brain, body, physiology, psychology is in a lot of pain, your brain associates a lot of pain with eventual death. So you're triggering your adaptation response. And the only wrong answer is to sit back and stay the same. I told this person who was opening up to me, now is your chance to become... He still loves her, and he wants her back. And apparently she's actually with another person now, and that's what hurt the most. And that, I can only imagine. I mean, my goodness. But he said, I'm not going to give up, man. Like, I really, really care about this person. And she didn't wrong me. I just screwed it up. And I said, there's only one way you ever get her back, man. And that's to become the better you. Yeah.
You have
regardless
to
of
attract
her.
it. Right, exactly.
You have to do it. That's why, like, people say, "Oh, I know why you spend so much time in the gym. It's for the women." No, it's not. It's for me.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
do it for
definitely
me
not.
because I know that I want to be the best version of me physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Yep.
That way I'm able to give the most amount of love to the listeners, the fans, and my significant others and my friends and my family and all that happy jazz.
I couldn't agree more, man.
Are we we're going to go to mine now because
Yeah.
you've taken all the time.
I'm sorry.
Per the usual. So this young lady reached out and said, "Can I ask you a somewhat personal question?" The answer is yes to every person. You don't even have to.
Yeah,
You don't even have to preface it with that. You can ask me anything you ever need to.
Yep.
She said, "How do you deal with people who don't understand you? To most people, I'm viewed as, and this is in quotes, too much, and it's really exhausting because I find myself shrinking myself to fit in with most people around me. No one really understands me, and it really sucks." So I said, "What do you mean by too big? Do you mean you dream too big? You think too big? Honestly, don't spend time, or I don't spend time around many people who aren't doing big things. Anybody who's close to me knows that the podcast is my thing, and they know I won't stop. I know how you feel because when I was still working at my old job, everybody there thought I was crazy. And when I said I was going to quit and I was going to live life on my terms, they could not fathom how that was even a thought in my head."
I was like, hell yeah, get
Right?
it.
So what I said to her was, I kind of expect it to be that way now. I kind of, you have to understand that, and this is something that I said to her, realize that most people's lack of understanding is more a compliment towards your degree of uniqueness. A lot of people aren't in the same position you're in, so they might tell you that you can't accomplish it. It might be because of fear that you're going to leave them behind. It might be because of their own incompetency, because they don't see themselves as capable of achieving that dream, so they don't want to see you hurt. I firmly believe now more than ever that as you grow, as you evolve, I mean, we could put it in fitness terms, as we often do because we're so passionate about it. If you start going to the gym doing 2-a-days and you're doing cardio, the people that you're going to go to the gym with are going to change.
Yeah,
It's not going
they're
to be
gonna
people
have to.
who are just going for fun.
Exactly.
Or just going to check the box off.
That is a great
I
analogy.
think that so many people they hang on to these friendships. And I think, and this is going to sound harsh, guys, but don't take it that way. You're kind of trading in your future for your past. You're allowing these chains that you have with your friends. And trust me, I'm going through the same thing. I'm dealing with the same exact thing right now. I know exactly how this feels. You're allowing a leash to hold you back instead of you just kind of accepting that you want to move forward. I know it's lonely. I know it's scary, but where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? I would rather end up my best version of me alone than back 5 years ago with everybody else that at the time are the people I want to spend time with. Your things change.
Yeah.
Your why power changes. Your hopes change. Your desires change. Your effort changes. The things you do change. And it's just, we keep it on such a personal level because it's people. And there's feelings involved.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's when you outgrow your house, you get a new one. When you outgrow your job, you get a new one. When your kid outgrows their clothes, you get new clothes. Outgrowing is kind of part of the journey.
It is 100%
And it's
part of the
scary.
journey.
This
It's
is one of the
necessary,
uglier sides of personal development.
which is why we're talking about it.
Yeah.
It's so, so, so important. Believe it or not, and I want to bring this to the listeners, the person, and we'll keep it anonymous, that Kevin just read that message from, recently messaged me with a $400 check, and it is the first check that she has ever received.
Let's go!
From her dreams. And she was so excited and basically said, "This is the most excited I've ever been. It's just $400, but it's I made it doing my dream." And I'll tell you, all the listeners out there right now, I've had some fat fucking checks in my day back in corporate America, but when you make a check doing what was once just a dream, I told you and Matt about this. I had a $500 check written to me for modeling. At one point, modeling was just a dream that I got laughed at over and over again for. And that check, I'm shaking right now, was like, it was only $500. I've made literally 10 times that in one check before. More than that. It was the first time I ever made money as a model, which at one point was just a thought, just a dream. So this mud stuff, this growth stuff, this person who reached out to Kevin and is struggling to be different, it's going to be a little bit lonelier if you're carving your own unique path. If you're in the woods and there's a well-worn path that everyone goes down, and you just decide to take this fucking right turn towards your dreams, of course it's going to be a little more lonely. But I guarantee you, the more and more successful you become and the more and more you grow, like Dr. Nikki Starr said, you're going to be a magnet to attract more dream chasers. And I told this person too that there's a lot of other dream chasers out there. Kevin and I know because we were just in a room with 1,200 of them.
Yeah, it's just anytime there's two people involved, anytime it's you and somebody else, there's this line of it's personal. So it's super hard to take emotion out of it. If your car wasn't serving you to the best of its ability and you knew it was holding you back from getting to your ultimate destination, you'd get a new car.
Yeah.
There's no person. There's no feelings attached. There's no heartbreak. There's no, especially expectations. People think you're crazy if you say, "Oh, I'm outgrowing my good friends." You're not crazy. You're not crazy. This is part of it. And you also do not have to cut ties with these people. You don't have to defriend these people in real life.
Exactly.
What you have to do is reformulate what your friendship is. You just got to figure out,
am I dynamic.
Am I going to spend a week with this person? We've talked about this before.
Oh, totally. 3 minutes, 3 days, 3 hours.
Yeah.
3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 days.
Yeah.
Yep.
If somebody who you would spend weeks and you wanted to spend a month and you want to spend every day with them, if it's just not in alignment anymore, that's not congruent with your mission, then scale it back a little bit. The level of effort you put in is going to determine the level of friendship you have with that person.
Yeah. Picture a pyramid. And we talked about this on the other Scratching the Surface episodes. There's the foundation, which is your core values. I forget which episode that is, but we did an episode on core values. And then there's the true north.
Oh,
there's the alignment.
How nice is that?
So if you picture a pyramid super fast, the bottom, the foundation, is your core values. I was at a wedding on Saturday. It was a blast. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. John Geekus. It's all Geekus to me, which is a parable for it's all Greek to me because it's a Greek wedding.
Sure.
Amazing night. Had a blast. I hadn't seen these people for years. John Geekus and Greg Walls are good friends. Greg was the best man, and we were inseparable in college. And we also worked together at Cognex. I haven't spoken to them in 3 or 4 years, and we reconnected, and it was so nostalgic. So you, like Kevin just said, you do not have to cut these people out of your life completely. I genuinely wish that I had kept in better touch with them, but nothing changed. We were still close. We still enjoyed each other. I had the privilege of spending the night with a very beautiful young lady at that wedding, and we ended up going deep about goals and dreams and core values. And I pulled out a flashcard of what you've seen, Kevin, my 6 fundamental core values that I won't go into right now. But the point is get very crystal clear on what your core values are. We did an episode on it. And also get very crystal clear on what your goals and dreams are. Because that's the bottom of the pyramid is the core values. The top of the pyramid is your true north. That's your goals and dreams. And everything in between is your approach. And your approach is going to have to be customized and designed based on the core and the true north. So you're always going to wonder, should I be friends with this person? How much time should I spend with? It's going to be much more difficult to be decisive and to make difficult decisions like this person Kevin just got reached out to did if you're not as crystal clear about your goals and dreams. When you're crystal clear about your core values and your goals and dreams, it's going to make it very easy to understand who should be on your ship and who should not.
A good friend of mine was going through a relationship, and I said, insert good friend name, are you willing to trade in your hopes, dreams, aspirations of being the best in the world at what you want to be at for the person that you're dating now? Because if you truly believe the person, whether you're dating, whether they're friends, whether they're family, that happens all the time. Family doesn't believe in people and they hold them back. Are you willing to trade in your hopes and dreams for that person? If you're not, then find a way to either reevaluate the amount of time you're spending, or I know it sounds black and white and I know it sounds harsh, but when you find something that you will do anything for, this podcast, anything, whatever it takes, then you're going to start realizing that the people that need to be around you need to support you, they need to energize you, they need to light you up, and that's only going to help you. It's going to help them. It's going to make both of you better people, and it's going to make everybody you come in contact with a better person.
And then those people that you may or may not be spending as much time with are going to benefit from the new you, from the full you, from the fully expressed you.
All right,
this is huge.
Read your thing.
This is super
Quickly,
good. Quickly, I have a dramatic reading
Quickly.
that I quickly will read. This is super relevant because I think that what we're talking about here is you have to give up to go up on some level.
Yes.
This is how you deal with loss. Both of the people that reached out to us are struggling with loss in order to gain. So this is from a long time ago. It's an Instagram post of mine of me with my dog, and this is the last picture that I ever got to take with him. So this was the last photograph that I ever got to take with my puppy. Boo was the greatest dog ever. He wasn't just a dog. He was part of the family. He was pure love. I'm shaking as I write this. I went out for a 2-mile run around the block one day a few months back. I wasn't in a very positive mental place, so I went for a run to get out of my head and into my body. I was caught up in this and that, and this and that of life, as we all are sometimes, and I came home to Boo, dead at the top of the driveway. He was hit by a car, and it was my fault. I told him to stay, but he just wanted to come with me on the run. He probably sensed that I was down and was trying to help, but I was caught up in my own head, and I forgot to put something in front of his doggy door so that he couldn't follow me. I haven't wrote about this until now because of how much it still hurts, but I have a few words that I needed to say this morning. And this is the part that's relevant to this episode. Pursuing anything of value takes courage because obtaining anything of value requires risk. Success is never obtained without first risking failure. Authenticity is never obtained without first risking criticism. And true love is never obtained without first risking loss. But that's exactly why these things are so valuable. The value is predicated upon the risk. Is it scary? Yes. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Is it almost unbearably difficult at times? Yes. But it is worth it, for it is always better to have done and failed than to never have done at all. It is always better to have expressed and been criticized than to never have expressed at all. And it is always better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. I love you, Boo. Rest in peace. We miss you dearly. The love you gave us is unconditional, and you'll always be in our hearts.
I appreciate you being super vulnerable right there. I think that adds a lot of context to what we're talking about, that if you want an easy road, pick an easy target.
Yep.
And you can get there. But will it fulfill you? I want you guys to know that if you're feeling hopeless, we understand. If you're feeling lost, trust me, we understand. If you're feeling not good enough, if you're feeling like you've been dealt a shit hand, if you're feeling like you're stuck, if you're feeling any of these things, we understand. That's why we do this. That's why we put ourselves... Somebody asked me the other day, why are you so vulnerable? Because I have the ability to put myself out there, and I want people to know exactly what I'm feeling. Because I know that they're feeling it too. I know that they're feeling it. Most people are feeling these things, just most people aren't willing to talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys reach out to us, there is nothing I won't talk to you about. I don't care what it is. I will do anything in the world to help you. I want you to know that we understand you. We know what you're going through, and honestly, it's our mission to make sure you're not going through it alone. That is what this podcast is about. That is what becoming hyperconscious is. You're not alone. And if you think you are, listen to this, because we're going to tell you that you're not.
Yeah.
And we're going to help you rewire your brain and realize you're going to do some awesome shit. But it's going to hurt. It's going to be tough. But living life is tough. Living life hurts. Pick a life you want to live.
Design your own life. Kevin just said everything so perfectly. All I have to say is that sometimes really bad shit happens that you didn't expect. This person that reached out to me, you didn't expect that to happen. I didn't expect this to happen to my dog. That other person that reached out to Kevin, bad shit's gonna happen to good people. It's going to. We know that. It's what you do about it. So please keep reaching out. We love getting the messages, and if you DM us, it will always stay anonymous. We'll never use your names. We will never do any of that. You guys are safe with us. We won't. We will not air you out, I promise. We just want to help as many people as possible, and we hope you enjoy this episode. We just scratched the surface. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for listening to another episode of the Hyperconscious Podcast.
Going hyperconscious will absolutely change your life, because if you understand why something is the way it is, now you have the power to change it. If you going hyperconscious with us has changed your life in any way, please share this episode with one of your friends, because the more people that go hyperconscious, the better this world's going to be for everybody.
And if you would kindly leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, that would help us make more people hyperconscious, and we would be greatly appreciative.
Thank you.
Bye.